Lecture 3. The History of Sudoku.
Sudoku, as you probably know, is a popular game that involves placing numbers in the correct spaces on a grid like the one pictured here. Sudoku has a very interesting history. Su means number in Japanese, and doku means single. In other words, there is one single place where a number can be placed in each column, row, and part of the grid. Unlike most games, which come from a single culture, Sudoku has international origins. An 18th century mathematician from Switzerland named Leonhard Euler invented a puzzle called Latin squares, which was similar to Sudoku. 200 years after Euler, in 1979, an American architect named Howard Garnes designed puzzles that he called number place, which were based on Latin squares. These were published in magazines and books owned by Dell Publishers, a company which mainly published crossword puzzles. Then, in the mid-1980s, the president of a Japanese publishing company, Maki Kaji, began publishing a version of number place puzzles. Kaji invented the name Sudoku. These puzzles became a huge hit in Japan and began to appear in daily newspapers there. In 1997, Wayne Gould, a retired judge from Hong Kong, actually, he was originally from New Zealand, was looking around in a Japanese bookstore and found a book of Sudoku puzzles. He was fascinated by these puzzles and spent years developing a computer program that could produce them. In 2004, he was able to convince the British newspaper, The Times, to start publishing daily Sudoku puzzles using his software. A few months later, other newspapers in the UK began publishing Sudoku puzzles. In 2005, U.S. newspapers such as the New York Post, the San Francisco Chronicle, and USA Today began publishing Sudoku puzzles, and in a few years, they were appearing in newspapers all over the world.